Hi, I'm Nancy Mason. I'm the director of the Mvskoke Nation Youth Services program. And I have with me today Samantha Kuhn, who's one of our youth service specialists, and she coordinates the Mvskoke Mentors program. Today, we want to give you an orientation into the service and let you know how you can become involved. We're going to start out with a video that really stresses the importance of mentoring. So, why Mvskoke Mentors is a question that we ask. And so, just thinking about that video and the things that I saw, it makes me really think about how fortunate, and I think Sam and I were recently in a meeting and we talked about how fortunate each of us were that we've had mentors along the way, but there definitely could have been negative outcomes for us had we not had those adult connections. What would you say more about that, Sam?
Yeah, so I think speaking for myself, having a mentor in my life, for me, it came later in life, but I was very thankful for the men and women that actually stepped into my life to speak encouragement to me and just to help me learn more about who I am, where I'm going, what I want to do, and really just helped me along with my journey to where I am right now. In younger days, I think I had natural mentors. I mean, like my teachers, coaches, other youth workers, even like within my church or even in my community. And so just people being a positive influence, not just my family members, because of course they love me and care for me, but it was these other outside adults that were taking care of me as well. And so, yeah, I was like, it was very important for me, and I know for others too.
Definitely, definitely. And I know, I think for me, it's similar. I talk often about one particular mentor, my choir teacher. And what I saw from her, and I can kind of summarize it really quickly, is that she provided, well, first, she saw my potential. She provided me opportunities. She supported me, whether I succeeded or if I had failures. And then that created those lifelong connections for us. So I think that's what mentors can do, the possibilities that there are in those relationships and the impact that it has on young people. Like I said, I know for myself, I wouldn't be doing the work that I get to do today in the position that I get to be in had I not had the mentors in my life as well. And I continue to have mentors as an adult too. Um, Back a couple of years ago. And actually, if I think about it, from the beginning of our program, we were created in 2014. And at that time, we did an assessment and we asked young people and adults, what do Muskogee youth need? And overwhelmingly, we had a response of mentoring. And we do that same assessment every couple of years. And every time, mentoring is in the top 10 of those needs, of what they need. So we've known for a long time that our young people need mentors. And it's something that we have been working on throughout the last few years of creating our program. And it was something that we wanted to be very intentional about, to put a lot of thought into, and to make sure that we do it right. And so we worked with a local group in Wetumpka. We brought together community members, young people, teachers, service providers, and we really had them to help us hash it out of what does that look like as far as mentoring. Who needs to be involved, what needs will we focus on, everything. And, thankfully we were able to work with them throughout 2019 and get all of our program kind of ready to go. We launched in 2020 and then our pandemic hit. And so that made us kind of rethink how we would do mentoring. We had hoped to do after school programming, and now we've included a virtual component, and that will be our main focus until we're able to gather together safely again. But we will have some opportunities to do those things in both capacities, hopefully at one point or another. So this is the overall goal that we came up with that working group. Mvskoke Mentors support Native youth in achieving their personal goals through positive relationships with upstanding tribal citizens. And like I said, that community that came together that really created this. They were very instrumental in telling us what the program should look like. Like I said, who should be there, what were some of the guidelines. And so we're very thankful to them for all of the input that they've given to us as we relaunch with our virtual component this year.
And we just want to share a little bit about some of the benefits for mentoring as a whole, but also individually for the mentor and the mentee. One of the things is, of course, as you can see on the list, is sharing life experiences. As a mentor, you're going to be able to, share a lot of the things that you have gone through, whether it's, education-wise, career-wise, family life. You're going to be able to share those times and those experiences with a young person that will need to know those things. And so you get to provide that experience for them. Also, community engagement, just being engaged more with the community, whether you live in it specifically or you live outside of that community. The community of the young person, you're going to be able to give them another opportunity to step up, to volunteer, to make an impact there in their own communities as well. And then, of course, provide resource knowledge. So there might be different programs, maybe within the tribe. If you are a tribal employee and you want to volunteer and be a mentor, then you're going to be able to give them a little bit more information of what programs they could go to look for opportunities, whether it's like youth services, or it could be summer youth, employment, it could be education. It could be all these different things. And so you would actually become a resource for them, whether it's in tribal, state, or, nationwide. And then, of course, you can be a positive impact for this young person. We just want mentors to be able to connect to their mentees in a positive way, just showing them that they have the opportunities as well as anyone else just to step up and to be someone that is encouraging, someone that is don't always have to be outgoing or outspoken, but to have a positive impact in the lives of those around them as well as their own lives. And then, of course, foster resiliency. Many of our young Native people, we tend to know that, we may have like a tough upbringing, or we may face difficult times, but there's also hope that comes out of that. And as a mentor, you may have also faced some of these similar situations, or face some of these challenges and hardships, but you also know that you have been able to overcome them. And so in sharing your life experiences, you're going to be able to help foster that resiliency in a young person, so they may too continue in that growth and in having that hope and continuing on forward in their lives too. And so that's some of the benefits. I mean, that's just a small little list of the benefits of a mentor and a mentee relationship. And so as we continue on, we're, within the program, you're going to be able to see many of these come to life. You're going to see different things come out of those benefits and just continue on even more. And then we're also going to look at the role of a mentor. The role of a mentor, there's going to be a lot of different areas of your life that you're going to be able to cover for your mentee. And as you can see on the list, I'm just going to pick a couple of them to talk about. One of them, of course, is going to be, you're going to be a teacher, you're going to be a trainer, you're going to be a positive role model. And when we talk about that, we're looking for mentors to be men, women, that are going to be able to have that positive opportunity to just show these young people that you are living your life as best as you can, and just having, what we would say a very outstanding, like having outstanding behavior, not just like acting like it or being this way, but you actually are, and you're offering different values to these young people. You want to show them, they could be successful because we want the best for them, and so you're just encouraging them in that setting. Of course, you see social supporter, a guide, a resource supporter, an advocate. And as far as like the advocate part, for a mentor, you're going to have the opportunity to show these young people, your mentee, how they are going to be able to stand their ground, to speak up for themselves. And in turn, they're going to be able to help others, whether it's their peers or family members, to be able to speak up and stand up for themselves as well. And just to show them that there are other opportunities out there too. And of course, you're going to be a challenger, and you're going to be a friend and companion. And these are just some of the roles that you may take on as a mentor, and that your mentee might see you as. And then as we go on to the role of a mentee, there are, of course, a couple that we have listed here: a student, a friend, companion, partner, a planner, and a healthy risk taker. Of course, the mentee is going to be a student because they are going to be in the position to learn these things from their mentor. They're going to be able to see, oh, okay, there are new skills that I can learn. There's new opportunities that I've never heard of. So they're going to take that, in fact, for them, they're going to probably internalize that and take that in and just want to know all these different things that is going to be put before them. And then, of course, let's go with a healthy risk taker. Some of these things are not going to be things that they're used to, but we ask that those mentees take that little chance. The role of a family. For family members, of course, that's our first teachers for anyone. But they're also going to be students. They're going to be partners, positive role models as well, and supporters and cheerleaders. I want to talk a little bit about the partner. For our program for Mvskoke Mentors, we are really asking that our families take part of this mentorship, as their young person is actually meeting with their mentor and then learning these new things, but you would also be there to support them. So as a partner, as that supporter, as that cheerleader, you want to be able to support your mentor and things that they are sharing, but also support your young person and just encourage them that, these are new things that you're learning and, you can do these things, you have these opportunities. And so that's some of the big roles that we, are asking of our families for our young people and for our mentors to be able to do.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the responsibilities, and these apply to both the mentor, the mentee, and their families. We do have policies and procedures. Like I said, our local committee was very instrumental in helping us to develop those policies and procedures. That is something that we will go in depth into training on during an initial training that will be completed once you've been approved to be in the program. So after you've gone through the different processes, there will be another initial training that kind of gives you all of the nuts and bolts of what you need to do as far as the policies and procedures are concerned. There is a time commitment. So we've asked for 1 hour a week for 9 months. And so 1 hour a week, honestly, that's really not a lot of time if you think about that. But the 9-month commitment sometimes scares people. We chose to do 9 months because studies show that the longer a mentoring relationship exists, the better the outcomes are for the young person. It gives time to establish the connections and really, begin to work on some skills with them. We actually did a short program. It was about a 9-month program, but it was a small program focused on cultural arts recently. And it was a mentorship with those artisans. And I know that most of those youth still have relationships with their cultural arts mentors. And like I said, that was a 9-month program. And so that shows just for us, from something that we've seen recently, the effectiveness of that, just the confidence that those young people have developed. And like I said, just those lifelong relationships that they now have created. And so 9 months, it also usually coincides with the school year. Our program is going to run year round, so you can actually participate at any time. Once we are able to go back into the schools, it will definitely be throughout the school year, but we hope to also offer that through the summer for the time being, so they can begin in that mentoring at this time. Another responsibility is the screening process. So there's an application, we do background checks and drug screens. There's also an interview that is completed with the mentor so that we go over all of the information and have a good summary of them, their likes and interests, and helps us to match them with a young person. One thing I do want to specifically talk about is the drug screening piece. At this time, we do not accept mentors who have medical marijuana cards. One, because that was a recommendation of our committee that was working with us. And also that is not allowed by the policies of the Mvskoke Creek Nation. Employees are not allowed to have the medical marijuana cards at this time. And so we want to be in compliance with that. Additionally, there's training. Right now, you are completing the orientation, which is the very first component. It gets you just a basic overview of the program, how it's going to work. And then we have initial training. So once you've been approved as a mentor, you do that initial training, and we go over all of the policy procedures, provide you information on how to work with young people, more information and details about how the actual component will work, whether you're virtual or if we get to that component of being able to be in person at some point. We'll give you all those details in the initial screening. And then we also do ongoing training. And so that's going to provide additional support to you. So for example, you have a young person who has maybe a special education need. We can connect you with training that focuses on special education to help you connect with that young person, maybe find resources for them and their family. And so it'll be very specific to your young person. Communication is also just like major important throughout the screening process, throughout the time that you're a mentor. Communication has to happen. So just really letting us know what's going on. We do require a mentoring log be completed after every contact with the youth or with the mentor if you're the young person. And that's something that you can do virtually on site. We have a paper copy that you could complete if you don't have access to do that online. At this time, like I said, we will be doing mostly virtual because of our current situation. But that is required to be completed. And we want those details, those mentoring logs, to be as detailed as possible because it helps us to know about the relationship, to spearhead and like go against if there's any kind of issues that may be developing. Maybe you're not making connections with your mentor or your mentee, and that helps us as a staff to go in and work with you all, and kind of diffuse the situation if there's an issue, or try to help make those connections better, or even sometimes we might have to make new connections with the different mentors and mentees, because sometimes people just don't click. You have to have reliable transportation to the mentoring site once we are in person. And like I said, at this time, it is necessary that you have internet access so that you can communicate with your youth via the virtual format that we'll be using. Qualifications. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the mentor qualifications. And so the first one is the mentor has to be at least 21 years of age. They must be an enrolled Mvskoke Creek citizen. We have had the question, do you accept other Native Americans who are living within our reservation? And at this time, we would love to have you. Like I said, we focused on our Creek citizens because we do want to have that connection for our young people. However, we know that there is a need for mentoring, and we would love to have any and all, especially males. There is a shortage of male mentors, and so we would definitely be happy to look at other tribal citizens. You must be able to meet weekly with your mentee for 1 hour for 9 months.
And for the mentees, be in grades 6 through 12. And if you are, be a Native American, not if you are, but be a Native American. And of course, we're doing priority to enroll Mvskoke citizens, and be able to meet weekly with your mentor, 1 hour a week for those 9 months. Excuse me.
And then for both of the mentor and the mentee, obviously we look at personal qualities through the application and screening process, have to be able to complete all those steps. Now, our staff are able to assist with any issues that you might have throughout that process. But again, it goes back to that communication. Be sure to let us know if there is something you have a question on or that you need help with so that we can assist you. And again, I just want to emphasize right now, it's an imperative that we have access to the internet for both our mentor and mentees so that there can be virtual communication until we're able to meet in person.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sam, you want to tell us how it works?
Yeah, so with how Mvskoke Mentors works, I'm gonna talk you a little bit into what the steps look like. As you can see, we have two different pathways with one goal in mind. For the mentors, we'll actually take a look at that first. And your first step is right here. You're gonna have, you're gonna ask questions. You're gonna have maybe inquire a little bit about what the program is. And then also you're going to do the orientation, which you're already participating in right now. So congratulations. Then you're going to move on to the application process, which the application you can find on our website, and you can fill it out there, or you can print it off and fill it out and then mail it back in to us. Then once we get your application, we see that it's complete, we'll start the background check. And then from the background check, if you have completed it and passed it, then we'll go on and move to our interview and then the rest of our training process, which is the initial training. And then after you've completed that, we wait for the approval process and to see if you as a mentor have been approved, and you get your stamp of approval. And then you wait to be matched. And for the mentee, the path is pretty similar, but at the beginning of this, you actually would get a referral. So someone may refer you to be a part of Mvskoke Mentors, or you can actually self-referral yourself, and you can apply, but you would talk to your parents. And in both cases, parents or guardians do have to give permission. So they do have to have permission if someone is wanting to refer a mentee or a youth, or if there's a self-referral, parents or guardians do have to give permission for that. And then there's the application process, and you complete the application. And like I said, that'll be online, and you can fill that out there or print it off and send it back to us. And then after it's completed, There's actually a mentee interview and training, but the mentee interview is going to be separate, and our staff will meet with the mentee virtual and just talk with them, get to know them, go over some of their interests, hobbies, things like that. And then we'll move on to the family interview, which is pretty similar to that. And then the training, which is the initial training, and we keep going, and then we go on to the approval process. And then once you have been approved and you have completed everything, then we move to the last step, which is to be matched. So you will be matched with a mentor will be matched with a mentee, and then we'll start this mentoring journey. So, yeah.
All right. So like I said, there's also going to be ongoing support. We know that there are going to be challenges sometimes within the relationships. And so our staff will offer some assistance with that and try to make sure that we can diffuse that if we can, and definitely wanting to work with you all. So it's important that you communicate with us about the relationship and give us really good contacts about what's going on. Again, we'll provide ongoing training that will hopefully be specific to the different young people that you are working with. We'll provide resources to the mentees, the mentors, and the families. So, if the family has a specific need or the young person, trying to get them connected, as well as, we want to take care of our mentors and make sure that you all have the resources that you need, whether that be resources to help you to be a better mentor or resources to help you as an individual. We do have a grievance procedure, and so we want to make sure that people know that ahead of time. That information is available at any time of the request. Grievances have to be filed within 30 days of the incident. So that's the main thing that we want to make sure that you're aware of. So if any time throughout the application process you have a concern about how the decisions has been made or our interactions with you, please let us know immediately so we can get you the information that you need to file that. You will get written information throughout the process and have those details once you become certified as a mentor. We do offer a mentor support group too. So that's just another place for our mentors, not specifically training, but just a time that you all can come together and talk about your situations with your mentees if you have, something that's troubling that you need to work on. But it can also be just a time that you get to practice some self-care and take care of yourself, because we know that it's important to do that so that you can continue to be a good giver of your time and your talents. And so we'll have some cultural activities and things like that for you all to participate in on a quarterly basis. We also will do family gatherings. And so those will be with the mentees and their families, also again quarterly, and will be a time where we can come together with you all, provide information, have some fun activities, and just a time that we can all kind of gather together. And so those are the ongoing supports that we will provide throughout this service. All right. So for questions or to apply to become a mentor or a mentee, you can go to our website, www.mvskokeyouth.com /Mvskoke Mentors, or call us at 918-549-2557. And then you can also email us at mvskokementors@mcn-nsn.gov. Sam, is there anything else that you would like to emphasize or share before we sign off?
Just to check the website, make sure if you do have any questions, just contact us. Always look for updates if you have any questions on the application itself. Yeah, just keep in contact with us with that. I think that's one of the biggest things, and I look forward to it.
Yeah. Good. Right. Thank you all. Have a great day. Definitely stay in contact with us. We appreciate you.
Bye.